Episode 10 of MobLand begins with Kevin surrounded by spatters of blood while he rants to Rusby's dead body about his messy life. He's known about Bella and her connection to Conrad for a while, along with the truth about Eddie's parentage. It's here we get confirmation that Eddie's father is Conrad, not Kevin. He's tried hard to keep everything together, but it's all become too much for him and something had to give. Harry shows up and reunites with Kevin while he brings his guys in to clean the place up and dispose of Rusby's body. They eventually drive down to the dock where Harry is waiting for O'Hara. It turns out she's the real mole of the family. She's been working with Richie for over a year, topped up on fentanyl and whispering secrets to the enemy. Through her answers, Harry realises she's not the only one giving Richie info, given she never mentioned the situation involving Archie or what went down in Antwerp. Richie does trust her though, so Harry decides to use that to get to him and end this war before it's too late. Harry lets her go and promises to call her, leaving O'Hara dumbfounded as she walks away. With Conrad and Maeve in prison, it's coming down to crunch time. One of these families, the Harrigans or the Stevensons, could well be running the entire game when this is all said and done, so they need to move quickly. Kevin shows up to see Conrad while he's behind bars and tells him O'Hara is their rat. He also goes on to tell Conrad that he's making big changes and is going to reshape the Harrigan name in his own image as head of the family. Conrad scoffs and jokes about, but Kevin is being deadly serious here. At the same time, Maeve speaks to Eddie and encourages him to kill Harry, then go after Serafina. From behind this glass, she has far less influence than before, but her tongue is still razor sharp. When she suggests that she and Eddie be king and queen, she reveals that Conrad is his real father. Eddie heads back to see Bella next, and after cursing his mum out, demands that he be taken seriously and not lied to anymore. Now, interestingly, this chat occurs just after Bella checks the news, where her father is reeling after recordings of his illicit dealings have been made public. Bella apologises to Eddie for what happened with Conrad, but unfortunately Eddie has heard enough. He takes inspiration from Joaquin Phoenix's performance in Gladiator and squeezes his mum and chokes her out. He almost kills her while they embrace, until Harry's guys stop him with a swift punch to the gut. Meanwhile, Kat phones Serafina and suggests they broker a deal together and discuss the future. Serafina is actually interested to hear more, while Alice and Colin close out their deal with a catch. Colin double crosses Alice and has his men drug her and take her away, working with Richie and giving him the all clear to press ahead. It seems like everything has been resolved from Richie's perspective, but there's a wildcard here. Harry rings O'Hara and gives her a plan to follow. It's quite straightforward and involves Richie believing he's in charge, when in reality he's playing right into Kevin and Harry's hands. Now Richie's men show up at O'Hara's office waiting for Harry, but without Paul O'Donnell. He hangs back and eventually hits the trigger, blowing the office up and all of Richie's men with it. Another group arrive at the safe house who are also hit, with the remaining Harrigans rushing through the woods. As for Harry and Kevin, they show up at Richie's bar, where Kevin certainly doesn't hesitate, shooting O'Hara and then Richie. Harry and Kevin also uncover the recording of the planted evidence from inside Alice's car, which Kevin and Harry can use to get Conrad and Maeve out. They intend to let them hang for a bit first, while Colin shows up with the police at Richie's pub and sees the devastation for himself. Next, Harry shows up to see Kat, who makes him an offer. She wants to take out all the Harrigans in one fell swoop and needs his intel to make that happen. If he doesn't play ball, then Kat will end up an enemy. Harry tells her to go fuck herself and walks away, loyal to the Harrigans until the end. Back at the Harrigan estate, Bella speaks to Kevin about the future. He wants her by his side and she goes on to admit she's known about his nightmares and the ordeal inside the prison for a long time. He talks in his sleep and she's put the pieces together, and Bella understands what he's going through. She admits here that her father raped her for years as a child, going some way to explain exactly why she wanted to take revenge on him. Bella promises to be by his side, and this heart-to-heart works well to solidify their ties together. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for Harry and Jan. It's far less warm than a reunion we just saw between Bella and Kevin, as they wind up arguing together about the future and what's been happening. Jan lashes out with the knife and winds up stabbing him right in the chest. Harry shrugs it off and sits down, with the knife still sticking into his chest, joking that she has his full attention now. As for Conrad, he's the big man in campus at a prison, and as the episode comes to an end, he revels in the applause as he looks set to reclaim his empire, bringing this tumultuous season to an end. So MobLand bows out with a pulsating and satisfying finale, closing out the Richie saga with a lot of action and a clever little plan to take him down. It seemed obvious that O'Hara would sell him short, and thus that's what happens here. The episode goes out of its way to try and subvert expected tropes though, like the delayed explosion from outside by Paul, or the hostage situation where Kevin and Harry simply just shoot and kill them both. There's a lot of foundational work done ready for a potential second season too, with both Serafina and Kevin vowing to make their move as head of the family. Given what we've seen mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Serafina teams up with Kat, setting up a separate faction, while the in-house fighting between Kevin and Conrad looks set to implode the family once more. Now, there's an interesting dynamic between Kevin and Harry as well, and it's unclear whether his loyalties lie with Kevin because of their time together in prison, or whether it extends to the entire Harrigan house. However, we do know that Harry is loyal until the end, and the moment involving Jan and the knife is a clever way of portraying how the only person who properly hurt Harry is his wife, whom he cares for deeply. Eddie is still a loose cannon though, and after nearly killing his mum, could well prove to be a big problem next season if this is greenlit. At the time of recording it hasn't been, but fingers crossed this one does get the nod from Paramount. Now Eddie and Gina's relationship is also another interesting hook to explore further, and we could even see a situation where Eddie takes up the mantle as king in a kind of nod towards Joffrey from Game of Thrones, before Harry swoops in as the Kingslayer in this example and makes good on his promise to topple him while he's at the top of the empire. However, these are all interesting theories to explore further on down the line, but in terms of this finale, this has been a solid watch and solidifies itself as one of the best shows of 2025. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.